Mining update, lesson about the industry and job hunt video. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and today's video we're going to go through the prices of everything. The lesson's going to be about how you can use the Christmas break to educate yourself and get that mining job that you've been chasing. So let's start with our gold price. And our gold price, as you can see, is still significantly high. It is on the spot $4,182. This is the price that you'd pay if you'd have to go down and buy it from the Perth Mint. It's still a bit over $2,640 an ounce in the US dollars. That's the price you'd have to go if you buy it. Copper is $14,119 a tonne. If we go over and have a look at the coal price, that's down a little bit from last week when we looked at it. It's $111.50, and the iron ore price is still tracking sideways. And that's pretty much what's going on. So where all the jobs are and where everybody needs people is in the gold mines around the country. So this is our map that we've loaded up, and this has got all the copper and the gold mines around the country that are looking for people. So if you want to use the Christmas break to get yourself a job, you need to educate yourself to how it all works. And you need to work out where you actually want to get a job, and whether you want it to be a full-time, a part-time, you want to get into shutdown work, or you actually want a mining job, because they're not the same thing. If you come over here to the Underground Training website, you'll see in the New Starters column, it's mining job flowchart page. And if we come down and we have a look at our mining job flowchart, you'll see that we've got all the different jobs listed out. And I know I refer back to this a lot, but I think people do well when they can visualize it. It's really hard to jump from one column to another in this. Normally what happens to 95% of people, whichever column you get into as entry level is normally the column that you stay in. So if you start off as a nipper, you work your way through, or an offsider. If you start off in the kitchen, then normally you stay as utility. And one of the reasons that they do that is the poaching rules. And if you don't know about the poaching rules and you're trying to get a job, then you need to clue yourself into how it all works so you can make yourself a decent plan. So just come over to the Australian Mining for New Starters YouTube page and just type poaching rules in, and you can see all the videos that I've done on the poaching rules. And so you can have a look at those, and you can get yourself up to speed on why it's really hard to make the jump from this column into this column. And the other thing that you need to understand too is, so you don't waste a whole heap of money, is you need to go and have a look at the videos that I've done on tickets and procedures, because hard rock mines around the country, so all these gold and copper mines that everybody's looking for people on, they don't operate like everybody else. They're not under a national system. Each of them is run under their own state-based mining inspectorates. Now, they all use basically the same system that WA came up with in 95, or at the end of 94, 95. And they've copied that into their mining regs around the country, so it all works the same. But the basic way it works is that every time you move from one mine site to another, so if you went from a job Bamboo Creek down to down here, Hill 60, you can't just take all your tickets and your procedures from that one to this job here. You have to redo everything on the new site. It's the way they fix safety. Before 94, the onus wasn't on the employers to be able to have to prove that they've done everything they can to train you and keep you safe on site. After 94, it was. And that's the system that they've come up with, and so that means that it's all on-site equipment tickets and procedures when you move jobs. And these videos go into great length about how it all works, even go in and show you the regs. So goes into and shows you where in the Mining Act that it actually explains why that they have to operate the way they operate. So that's really important. And the next thing, if you want your mining job, is to educate yourself, and you can use these courses to do it. This is our shop, so they take Afterpay and Zip and PayPal and all that sort of stuff, so it's not a lot of money. This is the one that I recommend most people do to start with. If you want your resume done and you want some help, then you can look at upgrading to these packages if you want to, and the upgrade is just down here, so you only pay the difference, you don't pay any more. But yeah, this is the one that I'd recommend that you do, so you can have a look at how it all works, because one of the big problems that the employers have got is teaching the new starter enough about what's going on around them so they can be left alone. And a good example of that is if we go into the ground support section. So ground support's really important to know and understand, and if you don't know and understand it, you can't be left alone. And so this goes through all the different types of ground support that you can use, how the jumbo's going to install it, what the bolting patterns look like, how the mesh works, how straps work, how shotcrete's put on. It's got videos showing you how it all works, chemical bolts, cable bolts, talks about the whole lot. And this is the education that they want you to know. They need people to know how it all works so you can be left alone to get on with it by yourself. If you can't be left alone, then you don't end up having a job, unfortunately. And it's not just that job. It's not just that you need to learn. You need to learn the whole mining cycle. So development mining, taking a cut, firing a cut, how the escapeway works, production mining, paste fill. Training goes into all of it and teaches you everything that you need to know so they can leave you alone. And if you can talk to the foreman about how it all works, then getting one of these jobs, if you type underground into Seek, these entry-level jobs that are around, is really easy. Now, a lot of these job ads are asking for experience. The reason that they're asking for experience is because more than 50% of people fail when they go in green, so they don't know how any of it works. And that's what gives you the advantage if you do the training. It teaches you what you need to know, so you're 6 to 8 weeks ahead of everybody else, and it makes it a lot easier for them to say yes, because when they hire new starters for these nipper and truck jobs, all these companies would probably invest between $20,000 to $30,000 per person that they bring on board, because by the time you are sitting next to the current nipper learning how to nipper, or you're sitting in a truck driving it up the decline with somebody behind you showing you what to do, just by the time you're at that stage there, most companies will have spent about $20,000 on you, if not more. And so if you're spending the average of $30,000 to get, the average person up to speed, that's your average, and you've got 3 and 5 failing in the first 6 months, then your real cost for your 2 employees that succeed is $75,000. And that's why all these job ads are asking for experienced people, even though there's not any around. They're just trying to jag some. So we get a lot of people that apply for these experienced underground jobs that have done the training that actually get jobs out of it, because if they can't find somebody with experience, you're the next best person. You're the one that knows how it all works. You're the one that can be thrown in the deep end. You're the one that can be up to speed in a couple of swings. And that's the hook for the employers. So there's lots of jobs around in the hard rock underground space. But yeah, if you don't want to go into that sort of area, then there's lots of drillers offsiders jobs around. Lots of underground drillers offsiders jobs around, and that can be a different pathway. It can be a good pathway. You can sort of get from a driller's offsider role into a drilling role in a couple of years at the moment, because there's a fair bit of work around. And it's a good way to get into a job that can pay $160,000, $180,000 within a couple of years. You can't go from the diamond driller's job into the jumbo's job. You have to go back to the main crew and start again. But, it's a good pathway in to earn a substantial amount of money in a short period of time. So it's something you should think about. The course covers everything you need to know to be able to do that as well. So let's have a look at the mining traineeships that everybody's talking about at the moment. And the reason that they're talking about it at the moment is because of this one. BHP has put their traineeships around for next year, but, it is what it is. These jobs are paying under $80,000 a year starting, and then there's not a big opportunity to go further and earn that much money. BHP don't want to pay anybody more than $120,000 for most jobs. It is what it is. And there'll be, I'd be surprised if they don't get 50,000 people apply for these jobs, and there's probably only 25 jobs to 30 jobs going. It is what it is. If you want to, that's sort of a Hail Mary pass, that one. There's so many people, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if friends and family have already got all those traineeships sewn up already, and they're just going through the motions with what's going on here. But yeah, there's a few around, but not that many. And like I said, they don't pay that much. And the big thing about the traineeships is if you do it with somebody like a labour hire company like Programmed, you want to make sure that there's a full-time job at the end of it and you're not just being cheap labour for 12 months or 2 years, which is sometimes the case. And so you can see entry level, it's $35, yeah, and that's not a lot of money for a labour hire company. And so, yeah, it is what it is. There's lots of stuff that goes on, that's going on in the hard rock side of things. So everybody needs nipper and truck drivers. They're looking again, so the assessment centre's open again for Westgold. So they're looking for people, but there's lots of jobs around in that hard rock underground space, not so much on the surface because of automation. And you can go and look at the videos that I've done on automation as well. So let's have a look at the last one, which is the mining truck driver. And normally when you know, like I've been saying, 2 years ago when you'd plug that in, this would all be surface jobs. Now the majority of these jobs are like ADGI jobs and underground truck jobs. And so underground, that's WA, Queensland. That's a surface one. That's WA Underground. That's New South Wales Underground. WA Underground. So you get the idea. There's heaps of jobs around. It's just a matter of giving them what they want, somebody that knows how it all works. And as for, this is probably the best time of year to do it, so if you've got 5 or 6 days or even more off over Christmas and you're looking at something to do, then the training is the way to go. It only takes if it's 50 hours worth of information, so you can get through it quite quickly. People find it quite interesting because we're teaching you how we blow stuff up. So it's you go through it quite quickly. There's 4 courses that you do. So you do, that was a basic that we looked at, nipper and other important duties, truck and service crew work, and then all the information on how to redo your resume is in the Australian Mining for New Starters seminar at the back there. So it goes through interview prep and how to create a mining friendly resume, so you can hand it around and get yourself a job. But there's lots out there like I've shown, and I hope everybody has a really good Christmas and takes advantage of where the actual jobs are and not goes and tries to go down the pathway of getting or trying to get a job where they were 2 years ago or even 12 months ago. So if you want an entry-level job, hard rock gold mines and hard rock copper mines are the place to go. And the entry-level jobs are nipper, underground truck, offsider, service crew, including paste fill and ADGI. And everybody's looking for people, and everybody's got to put people on because of a really high gold price. So I hope everybody has a really good Christmas and a happy New Year. I don't think I'll be doing another one of these videos next weekend. I might work out how we're going to do job hunt videos moving forward. I'm not sure whether people are really enjoying these videos or not, just by the watches that we're getting on it. We're getting a lot more watches on other videos, so we might go down that path. If you want to give me some feedback, feel free to. But if you can like and subscribe the channel and share the video around, that would be fabulous. Thanks and Merry Christmas, everybody.